Hey Trevor, I got your email, so it looks like we're looking at exercise 31 here. Add a restriction that allows the player to carry items only up to a specified maximum weight. The maximum weight a player can carry is an attribute of the player. So, and you're asking about, how do we set it up so that we can have both the field names and their weights. So basically what we want is to be able to access an item object, right? Because the item objects are what store, let's look at the item object. The item objects store the weight and the field name, right? And if you could grab the item object by the field name, then you could get all the item information you need. So I think what we'll do is set ourselves up so that we can pull something out of the room pull an item out of the room by name, and then we can, through the item, we can access the weight or whatever else we need. Okay. So what does that mean? Well, so what that means is that instead of having a hash set here with the items, we should probably make this a hash map. And that way, just like we had a map, with a string in the room for the exits, so that we could say, north is associated with this room, we could have a string associated with the item, so that when we store something in items, we're storing the field name and the item itself. So we'll have that whole object with all the information that it carries with it. All right. So what does that mean for? So basically, what that means is then when we do an add item, what we want to do here is the way that you add to a hash map collection, if you remember, is a put. And we actually need to put two things, right? We need to put the name of the item, which is going to be our key, into that hash map. And let's make sure, let's see, for how do we get the name of an item? Do we have something for that? Get description, get weight, get field name. So this will give us the field name of the item, and we can use that as a key. Where was I? Room. We can use that as a key. So paste that in. And then we put the item itself. So we'll have we're storing the name of the item, or the field name of the item, and then the item itself. Okay. And is there anything else we need to? Oh yeah. So this doesn't want to be a hash set. This wants to be a hash map. See if that works. We no longer have an iterator here. So what do we need to do? So we want to do something like what we did for exit string. Remember, the set of exits is a hash map also. So let's see, what did we do for exit string? So for that one, we got the key set, and we just looped through the key set. Okay, so let's see. So we want to do something similar to that. So let me just copy this down to here. And we want items key set, right? We want the key set from a set of items, and we're going to iterate through that. And I'm going to use something similar to this. We did an exit string. Down here we're going to say paste, and this will be, I'll say item name, okay? And copy that. And so we're just adding the item name. Okay, so very similar to what we did with the exit string. Okay, so that compiles. So now what do we need? Well, now we're going to need a way of getting an item, right? Basically, to see if the item exists. We need a way to see if the item's there, and then if it is, a way to remove it if we want to take it out of the room. So I'm going to add two new methods here. Let's add one that returns the item if it is available. Otherwise, we'll return no. So you always want to have like a kind of a default value that you're returning if things don't work, if it's not found. Right? So we're going to have a parameter name, which is going to be the name of the item to be returned, and we'll return the actual item, okay, named item, or no, right? If it is not. Let's see, public item, get item, and we're going to use the string, basically the field name, right, to see if it's in there. So what we do is we say return items, and how do we get an item from a hash set? Let me just refresh my memory on that one. On a hash map. So we have a hash map, and we want to get, okay, if we say get object, it returns the value to which the specified key is mapped. Okay, so we just have to say get and then the string. Okay, so let's say get name. Okay, and then that'll give us back the item if it's there. And if it's not there, let me just make sure. What does it say about get? Returns the value to which the key is mapped or null. Okay, so that's what we want. All right. So now let's do something that actually takes the item out of the room. Okay, so this removes, and we want to return that item. Returns the item if it is available. Otherwise, we want to return null, right? And we'll pass it a parameter. Again, we want to pass it, well, we more or less want to do this, right? Let's return the, let's say return the item if removed. Or no otherwise. How about that? Okay, so, and you know, like collections are typically going to have a way to remove stuff. Let's see, yeah, we have right here, remove. So remove, and you give it the key again. In our case, the key is a string, but it could be any object. It says removes the mapping for the specified key from this map if present. Okay. And, oh, we should make sure that it passes a null. Does it say? Oh, yeah. Returns the value associated with the key or null if there was no mapping for the key. Or a null return can also indicate that the map previously associated null with the key. Oh, didn't think of that. All right, so, but anyway, for our purposes, that's fine either way. If there was a null associated with, so we're going to have a remove item, string name. So in other words, if you stored a name and a null, then when you pull that name, you're going to get a null. But you know, that's something that we're just going to, I think we can live with that. Just something to keep in mind. All right, so now we can add stuff to the room, and we can take stuff out of the room. Let's just make sure we didn't break any of the other objects in here. It looks like everything compiles. So we still have the add item and get item and everything, but now we're storing the entire, not just the field name, but the entire item itself in the room. So then the next step will be to take advantage of that in the player and be able to pull the item and check the weight of the item against the max weight for the player. So this video has gone kind of long, so I'll save that for the next video.